There's been a lot of talk out there about Notre Dame and how they may get squeezed out and be forced to join a conference because of the format of the new college football playoff. I totally disagree with that. And right after this word from our sponsor, I'm going to explain why. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. What is up? Come on in, make yourself comfortable, bail yourself up to the bar, and let me pour you out a shot of top shelf college football content. On tap at Couz's Corner today, we are talking about Notre Dame, and we're talking about why I think Notre Dame will remain an independent even through the at least 2031 when the new college football playoff contract expires. And let me tell you why I think that. Now, I know a lot of people out there are saying, hey, this new format could cause Notre Dame to get squeezed out, yada, yada, yada. I don't think that's the case. I think people may underestimate how much Notre Dame values being an independent football school. Okay? Notre Dame wants to be special. They want to be different. They want to stand out from everybody else. That's their DNA. Whether you like it, whether you don't, that's where they stand. I personally think I'm not a fan of Notre Dame. They think their crap don't stink. But that's the world we live in. They bring more fans than any other college football program in America. They're arguably the most popular team in America. So I guess to some degree they've earned that, right? And they're followed by the largest religion in America, the Catholic religion. So because of that, Notre Dame kind of gets special treatment, and they probably always will. But here's why I don't think they'll be forced to join a conference anytime soon. First of all, look at the signs that have been out there all along. Notre Dame's AD represents the school as part of the college football playoff management committee with conference commissioners. He represents one school. He's on a committee with commissioners from conferences that represent 16 to 18 schools. That should tell you something right there. That's how special Notre Dame is in the minds of themselves and others around the country, apparently. But even more importantly than that are the details of this new college football playoff format or revenue model that's been released, I should say, along with what is already out there for Notre Dame from a revenue perspective. And we're going to go through that. First, let's start with some of the details from an article that Ross Dellenger put out last week. I've already went over parts of this article in a previous video. But for this video where we're talking strictly about Notre Dame, let's first of all talk about the overall format or revenue model that was agreed upon by all 10 conference commissioners plus Notre Dame. It says the Big Ten and SEC will combine to earn about 58% of the CFP's base distribution, or 29% each. Now, the base distribution is $1.3 billion per year for the college football playoff under this new agreement with ESPN. The figure would greatly exceed the ACC and Big 12's combined distribution number, which is expected to be around 32%. Think about that. The Big 12 and the ACC are getting a total of 32%, while the SEC and the Big 10 are getting 29% each. Let that sink in a minute. The ACC will get 17.1%, while the Big 12 receives 14.7%. The remaining amount, roughly 10%, will be distributed to Notre Dame and the 64 group of 5 teams. The difference in distribution between the two sets of conferences, SEC Big 10 and ACC Big 12, could exceed $300 million. The Power Two stand to earn a combined figure that should eclipse $700 million, far more than the ACC and Big 12's number of around $400 million. Roughly $115 million is slotted for the group of 5. With the increase in the ESPN distribution, no school's revenue will decrease. Major conference schools currently receive about $6 million each in distribution from the CFP. The ACC and Big Ten schools will see their annual distribution triple, if not quadruple, into the low $20 million range. ACC and Big 12 schools are set to see a more than doubling of their previous amounts. So they're going to see around $12.5 million each. The ACC and Big 12 are. We'll get to Notre Dame in a minute. Independents, UConn, Washington State, and Oregon State will get a small portion. Some reports out there are saying as little as $360,000. Oregon State and Washington State are going to go from getting $6 million to less than $500,000 potentially with this new deal. Absolutely crazy. Huge hit those schools are taking. No wonder they were fighting tooth and nail to get what they felt was owed to them after the crumbling of the Pac-12. No wonder. They had to survive. Let's continue with the article. Notre Dame, one of the sport's historical powers that retains its seat in the CFP governance structure, will see its distribution double to $12.5 million annually, with a caveat that includes a financial bonus. I'm going to read that again about Notre Dame. Listen to this. Notre Dame, one of the sport's historical powers that retains its seat in the CFP governance structure, will see its distribution double to $12.5 million annually. So they're going to get about the same as the Big 12 and the ACC. Now, on the surface, that might sound fair. But let's keep going. But then you got to add on the caveat that includes a financial bonus. They're not getting a financial bonus. The Big 12 and ACC are not getting a financial bonus. It goes on to say in the article, the 4 independents are eligible for a performance distribution payout. If Notre Dame or other independents qualify for the playoff, they each receive a flat fee of $6 million. So Notre Dame could get $6 million on top of the $12.5 million that they're already getting in the base payout. No other school's getting that. Now, the other independents can get it, but let's face it. Who has a better shot of getting in the CFP? Notre Dame or Washington State and Oregon State or UConn? Think about it. It also says Notre Dame is also the only major conference school that will not sustain a financial impact of losing multi-million-dollar payouts from bowl contracts. The SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC all leave behind lucrative bowl tie-in contracts with the Rose, Orange, and Sugar Bowls specifically. Aside from the provision around independence, the performance distribution structure in the past eligible to all teams has been eliminated in this contract. So there's no performance distribution structure. So regardless of how well your conference does or how well your team does, nobody's getting that except the independents. Who's independent? Notre Dame. Not only the payout that Notre Dame's getting, there's also expected to be some protections related to a format given to Notre Dame. So they could earn a guaranteed at-large spot based on their CFP ranking. That guarantee is contingent, however, on the number of automatic qualifiers in a finalized format per the article. Now, they're going to get special protections. They're making the same money as the Big 12 and the ACC, plus they get a performance bonus if they get in, or I guess perform at a certain level in the playoff. And I know what you're thinking. Well, Couz, that's only what, 12.5? That's only $18.5 million. Folks, you forget. Notre Dame already has their own TV deal. They don't share their TV revenue with anybody. They have their own TV deal with NBC, and they have for decades. That deal just got renewed through 2029 to the tune of $50 million a year. $50 million a year. That's more than the teams in the Big 12 and the ACC get. About 60% more, if I might add. Add into fact, they get another $17 million for being a partial member of the ACC. That's $67 million. That puts them in line with the Big 10 and SEC almost right there, just in their TV deal and their connection with the ACC. That doesn't even include the CFP revenue I just mentioned of $12.5 million. With the additional $6 million they could get, they could make between $79 and $80 million a year. And they're already one of the richest, if not the richest, university in America because of their large connection with the Catholic religion and all the endowment money they bring in. Why in the world would Notre Dame need to join a conference? They're already paid as much as any teams in a conference. And if they're going to get guaranteed protections for at-large spots in the CFP, especially now that one of the models being talked about for formatting is a 5+9 model where you get 5 automatic qualifiers for the top 5 ranked conference champions and then 9 at-large bids. Notre Dame would have a really good chance to get one of those 9 at-large bids if they finish in the top 14 in the CFP. Maybe even they might not even have to finish in the top 14. It'll be interesting to see where it all shakes out with the format. Folks, Notre Dame's sitting pretty right now. Why in the world would they need? The only thing they're not going to be able to get, at least as of now, the way it's looking, the way things look to be shaping up, the only thing they won't be able to get would be maybe a bye in the first round, and they may not be able to get home field advantage in the first round. And those may seem like big deals, but I don't think Notre Dame cares about that much. I'll be honest with you. Notre Dame values their independence that much, in my opinion. I think they've proven that throughout the years. They like being able to make their own schedule. We obviously know they have the ACC scheduling tie in there they have to follow, but the other 5 games, the other 7 games, I guess it is, they can schedule who they want to. They can schedule Michigan. They can schedule USC. They can schedule Pitt. That's an ACC school, but you get my point. They can schedule their rivals, Army, Navy. All the games they want to schedule, their traditions, they can schedule them. And nobody can tell them they can't because they're Notre freaking Dame. So for you people that think Notre Dame is going to be squeezed into joining a conference, I totally disagree with that sentiment. And I think I've laid out the reasons why in this video. I want to say thank you, first off, for the College Football Mafia folks for including me as part of the family. I'm honored to be part of the College Football Mafia family. Please go check out their other shows. Wild Ute University, Mowing After Dark, Big 12 Mafia, the College Football Mafia show, Big 12 West Mafia. Go check them all out. Go subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being a paid member here. Also, for my Couz's Corner channel members, thank you as well for being a paid member, a paid VIP member here at Couz's Corner. It's much appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed this content. Right now, if you go to my description box, you can get yourself some ONIT athlete trading cards, support your favorite student athletes. I'll make a small commission from the sale. The student athletes get 60% of the profits as well. Link is in my description. Go check it out now. Thank you for tuning into this video. Have a top shelf day. And as always, whether you're a West Virginia fan or not, Q Country Roads.